with Gregg Easteal and Amy Lee.
Hello there, good evening, thank you very much for joining us.
On tonight's programme, the dark side of Derby Day. Anti-racism campaigners meet officials at Newcastle United after reports of abuse pause play at St James's Park.
Undercover on the Underground, the special police operation to catch criminals on the Tyne and Weir Metro.
Sea change. A summit held in Scarborough aimed at turning the tide on pollution.
And North Shields puts itself in the picture to be named UK Town of Culture. First, anti-racism campaigners met with officials from Newcastle United today after the Tyne Weir derby was overshadowed by reports of discriminatory abuse.
Sunday's game was paused in the second half after complaints that a fan had racially abused Sunderland defender Lucharel Geertruida.
The Black Cats went on to win the game, but many of the post-match headlines were dominated by the incident, which has prompted a police investigation and has been condemned by both clubs as well as charities and politicians. Chris Conway reports.
Red card tells me the incident is a sad reminder of why the anti-racism charity continues to be needed.
To have it happen inside the ground in this day and age is absolutely shocking. You know, we've had 30 years of campaign that show us red card. We've had a fantastic response of Newcastle and Sunderland football clubs, and to have this happen in the ground is totally shocking.
You're speaking to us now. You've just come from a meeting with the Newcastle United chief executive. What have the club had to say about it?
There'll be zero tolerance, is what the chief executive has told me today, if anybody found racially abusing players.
The alleged racist abuse, which Northumbria Police is investigating, has been widely condemned. The Premier League says anyone found guilty will face the strongest possible consequences. Newcastle United say they do not tolerate discrimination of any form. Sunderland, meanwhile, added that racism has no place in our game or society. Sentiments shared by one of Newcastle's MPs today.
It's such a difference when you can go to see your team and know that everyone is welcome and they're all united behind that team. And so to have the reappearance of this sort of ugly monster of racism at Newcastle to James's Park, yeah, it's really so upsetting.
Before the game, there were small skirmishes and pockets of disorder between the rival fans. Sunderland's team coach had its windscreen smashed by flying bottles. This and the racist abuse during the game casting a long shadow over a famous derby being broadcast around the world.
It's absolutely disgusting and it should never be seen on our football pitches in the North East or anywhere else in this country. I was really shocked and horrified to hear that this has happened, particularly at a local derby. And frankly, I hope there's an investigation and I hope that fan is never allowed into a football ground ever again.
It may be the fiercest of rivalries, but tonight both Newcastle and Sunderland fans are in total agreement. There is no place for racism in North East football.
Live to Chris now at St James's Park. Chris, have we heard any more from Northumbria Police?
Well, Gregg, Northumbria Police's investigation into that reported racism is still in the early stages tonight. The force has reiterated, though, that it condemns all forms of discrimination, adding it will always look to take swift and appropriate action against offenders. Now, in terms of the policing operation itself yesterday, 3 arrests were made by officers, but unlike the drama on the pitch here at St James's Park, off it there was little drama seemingly. Northumbria Police say the day itself passed largely without incident. Fans of both clubs have tonight been thanked by the force. Northumbria Police will hope the relative calm seen this weekend will be repeated when the two clubs renew their rivalry in the Premier League next season.
Let's hope so, Chris. Many thanks.
Next tonight, an undercover police operation has been launched on the Tyne and Wear Metro to combat antisocial behaviour and crime.
Trojan Metro, following on from the success of Northumbria Police's Trojan Bus, involves plainclothes officers boarding trains on the underground with passengers at selected stations having to pass through knife scanners.
Northumbria's Police and Crime Commissioner says that some other forces across the country may replicate this model, as Chris Jepson reports.
This is Operation Trojan in action on the Metro after success on the buses. High visible policing and knife scanners in stations, a deterrent for potential offenders.
This person is pushed through the barrier without having a valid ticket, so he's committed a bylaw offence. The officers have then recognised the person as a known offender that they've dealt with before. He's actively avoided the knife arch on this occasion also, so the officers have pulled him to one side and confirmed his details. They've then had the grounds to carry out a PS1 search, so they've searched him.
On this occasion, no weapon is found, but it's not just uniformed police on this operation.
Building on the results of the Trojan bus, they've now rolled it out for the first time here on the Metro, and on this train alone there are 8 undercover officers looking out for antisocial behaviour and crime.
We're looking for people that might be vulnerable, we're looking for people that could be lost, we're looking for, people that may be victims of crime, we're looking for people committing bylaw offences, we're looking for any kind of antisocial behaviour, anything we can prevent, detect or get involved in.
Trojan Metro is being funded through the Police and Crime Commissioner's Operation Shield, which has seen antisocial behaviour fall by 24% so far this year.
This isn't a whack-a-mole exercise, this isn't moving the problems off the buses onto the Metro, this is about doing it across the whole spectrum and dealing with it as it's everybody's responsibility, it's not just the police's.
Back on the network, a woman is stopped at Haymarket Station.
That person didn't have a ticket at all, so she was stopped by the staff there and required to provide her details in relation to that bylaw offence. She was also intoxicated and abusive to the staff there, so she was required to be searched. She was detained for the purpose of a drug search. There's been drugs paraphernalia found, but no drugs.
So that's the type of incident that could prove fruitful under Trojan then?
Absolutely, yes. Obviously, people potentially are carrying drugs on the system. They're potentially passing drugs around on the system to other people, and they're bringing potentially drugs into the city centre, potentially having other sort of short items on their possession as well. So those kind of interventions in the minor bylaw offences can then lead to kind of further bigger things. So yeah, it's always worth stopping.
The type of stops Metro commuters have been asking the police for.
In relation to Project Shield, there's been a 36.5% decrease in antisocial behaviour in amongst the Metro system and the transport system itself, so it really is safe. But we just want to get out there and give reassurance and show people that we are taking heed of what their concerns are.
Safety and security on Metro is one of our top priorities, and it really sends a message to our frontline teams and also our customers that it is important. In this type of operation, it really sends a message also to anybody who thinks that they can cause antisocial behaviour or crime on Metro. It's unacceptable, and we will take some action.
As the operation draws to a close, a woman is arrested for allegedly being drunk and disorderly, taken away from the Metro, safeguarding her and other users of the service. Chris Jepson, ITV News, Gateshead.
You're watching ITV News Time Tea, still to come on tonight's programme.
From shipyards to Sam Fender, North Shields bids to become the first town of culture.
And after days of mild spring sunshine, a reminder that March is a very fickle month when it comes to the weather. I'll have more on that later in the programme.
Now, it's 400 years ago that spar waters were found close to Scarborough's South Bay, a discovery which transformed it into Britain's very first seaside resort.
Now we know. But as the town proudly celebrates that historic event, it's also held a summit on the shameful state of the bathing water there, judged as unsafe for swimmers for 8 of the last 10 years.
Tens of thousands of tourists still flock there over the summer, but today's summit heard fears that could change if Scarborough doesn't clean up its act, and soon. Fraser Moores is live there for us tonight. And Fraser, who was at that meeting today?
Yeah,
Yeah, all sorts of concerned stakeholders. We had people from the tourism industry, from the foreshore traders, the town centre traders. We had Surfers Against Sewage, and we had the people who are more responsible for keeping the waters clean rather than those who are concerned about its lack of cleanliness. We had the Environment Agency and Yorkshire Water as well explaining what they're going to do. So we're hearing from the people who have real problems with the water cleanliness here, and we've been hearing about from the people who are hoping to put that right. I've spent the day in the resort today and I've been speaking to that cross-section of people. From its past as a fishing port to its present as a tourism destination, Scarborough's long depended on a clean, healthy sea. The Western Hotel commands a view over the South Bay, one of the busiest beaches in the country. Owner Luke Allen has been in hospitality here for 20 years and is in no doubt that the town needs clean seas and beaches.
I think it should be a given. I think people should be able to go to the coast and feel free to go in the water and feel safe, really. A lot of my friends are surfers and a lot of people in town do free swimming and what have you. And it's important. It's an asset to Scarborough, and for it not to be looked after is shocking, really.
South Bay has failed clean water tests for 8 of the last 10 years. In the town hall today, experts came to say what's gone wrong. Yorkshire Water came to explain what's being done to put it right.
The information showed that the whole coastline was essentially affected by sewage pollution. That could be a multitude of effects that are doing that. CSOs, combined sewer overflows, releasing high precipitation, things like that, that are concentrating the entire coastline with that sort of pollution.
The fact I'm stood here now talking to you and we've got a dedicated bathing water team is testament to how seriously we take us. We know what it means to the local economy and to our customers and to the members of Yorkshire Water. We want to see it improve, so it's going to take some time. I know we've got to rebuild that trust, but I think the investment and events like this really bring to the fore how seriously we're taking it, and the investment really will make a difference.
Whatever is done, sea swimmers like Lizzie, who regularly goes for a dip in far from clear waters, want it done fast.
I am such a keen swimmer, I'm kind of addicted to it, and I have to swim and I have to take my chances, and I keep my face out of the water as much as possible. Just try to be really careful.
Do you think it puts a lot of people off though?
Absolutely puts them off, yeah. It definitely puts them off, yeah. And they rightly should be put off because it's quite filthy.
North Yorkshire Council says it's working with urgency and determination to address the problems. In the meantime, swimmers like Lizzie will have to continue trying to keep their heads above water. Well, the town's MP, Alison Hume, was in that meeting as well, of course, today. She joins me now. Thanks for coming down to the spa to have a chat with us. We'll try and keep you dry from the waves that are frothing up behind us. But it seems like it's a story as old as the sea, this, doesn't it? Every year we talk about the quality of the water here at Scarborough, and every year it seems to be falling short.
Well, you say we talk about it every year, but for 14 years when the Tories were in power, Yorkshire Water had carte blanche to dump sewage in our waterways. That stopped. When Labour came into power, we brought in the wet water special measures, and, you know, we're fining bosses and we're making sure that regulation works. So it's over for Yorkshire Water, and they have to clean up their act now. They are promising investment. They've already invested under 6 million, just under 6 million at Wheatcroft and the Whitby Road Bridge, and they're promising to invest 130 million here before 2030. But what was interesting in the meeting is that they can talk about the figures, but they've lost the trust of the public. And here in Scarborough, people have heard all of these promises before. So the Labour government will make sure that they deliver, and as the MP for Scarborough, I will be on their backs too.
And one other thing is that you can very quickly get that rating of poor water. It takes you quite a while to get that removed, doesn't it? That's the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And water quality behind us at South Bay has improved in the last couple of years, but we're held back from the previous years before that, before the improvements really went in. So I'm going to be asking DEFRA, can we have a reset on that rating? Because I want the residents here and the tourists that come to know that they are paddling and swimming in good water. And so we need a reset, I think.
Absolutely. Well, that will be music to the ears of the residents of Scarborough and the business owners here as well, that something is being done, and let's hope that this time the promises are made that are made won't get broken.
OK, Fraser in Scarborough for us tonight. Thank you very much indeed. And the ITV Evening News continues after us tonight at 6:30. Coming up on the programme, Trump backs down over his threats to strike Iranian power plants, saying talks between the US and Iran were constructive. Iran, though, denies those talks have ever taken place. We'll get reaction from our teams in the US and the Middle East. Also tonight, counter-terror police lead the investigation into the arson attack on 4 Jewish community ambulances. At 7, one couple tells us what life is like for their toddler living with childhood dementia. And we catch up with the Golden Girls of British athletics. Would you join us for those stories and more at 6:30?
Powering local sport in the community, Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
I've already spoken about the dark side of Derby Day, but Simon is here now to talk more about the football.
Yeah, as is always the case, it's the best game to win and the worst game to lose. Newcastle United's week went from bad to much, much worse. Sunderland remain the kings of the derby. This stuff matters. Maybe it matters too much, but this is genuine rivalry, and it's hard not to use the language of battle when you see the red and white army marching on the black and white army. For better or worse, Newcastle United versus Sunderland is as unfiltered and raw as the Premier League gets. The smart money seemed to be on the Magpies. They needed this game after Barcelona and after their no-show at the Stadium of Light before Christmas.
It's 90 minutes, so you need to keep pushing until the end. And today we show our character, we show our team spirit, and thanks to the fans also, they give us extra boost energy.
For United.
Big achievement. Winning 2 derbies in the same year, I think it means a lot for our fans, it means a lot for the group and the quality we showed.
What a result! Come on! Absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. 2-1, how are the lads?
Absolutely fantastic, honestly, all that the moon, can't ask for any more, honestly.
We beat them again! Come on!
Well, like I said, we beat them again!
I knew they'd tire because of the Barcelona defeat, and we deserved it over 90 minutes.
It was an easy 6 points when you look at it. We were in charge for 70 minutes of that game.
Well, they said 6 easy points and relegated by Christmas.
Very, very painful. Most of all, painful for our supporters. And they're the ones I think about now. I've got very little to use as an excuse, and I don't want to go down that road. Never have. I never believed in that method. Once you haven't performed and you know the size of the game and you don't deliver, you expect to be criticised, and you understand why.
Terrible, mate, embarrassing. Sunderland's got 5 or 6 key players out, and we can't break them down, losing 2-1 away.
Rubbish. Absolutely rubbish.
What did you think about the game? Thought we were dreadful.
Shocking. Shocking. 1-0 up, go 2-1 behind. Push forward. In a derby, it was nothing like a derby. It was just flat. Rubbish.
No ball, no nothing at all.
A sickener for Newcastle, a record breaker for Sunderland. It's the first time in derby history that one team has gone unbeaten in 11 league games against the old enemy. St James's Park started the day a sea of black and white. By the end, it was red all over.
Yeah, ecstasy for some, misery clearly for others. Final thoughts on Derby Day, Simon?
Struck by the power of it again. It feels like 2 games shouldn't shape a season, but it so often seems to do so, and it can make or break careers. But I suppose on a more positive note, it is a rivalry revived. We went nearly 10 years without one of these fixtures, but Newcastle and Newcastle, Sunderland aren't going anywhere. The derby's back. It's as you were in the Championship promotion race, thanks to a former Middlesbrough striker. Borough's current strikers drew a blank away at Blackburn Rovers on another frustrating day for Kim Hellberg and his team. The game finished goalless. But a goal from ex-Borough boy Josh Coburn earned Millwall a draw at Ipswich, which meant the Tractor Boys missed the chance to leapfrog Middlesbrough. So after all that, nothing changed and Borough are still second. A setback for Harrogate Town in their League Two survival battle. They lost to the only goal at Oldham Athletic. Harrogate remains second bottom of the table. In the National League, another big win for York City, 4-0 against Brackley Town. The Minster men stay second in that table. Hartlepool's playoff hopes live on after a 1-0 win at home to Easteal, but Gateshead had a setback in their relegation battle. They lost 3-0 away at Boreham Wood. Goals were thin on the ground in Women's Super League 2. In fact, the only goal in the 3 games involving our teams was Eleanor Dale's winner for Sunderland at Portsmouth. Elsewhere, Newcastle missed the chance to overtake Palace in the promotion race. Palace had the better of a goalless draw. And Durham also fought out a goalless draw with Southampton. But in the context of Durham's relegation battle, that felt like a point gained. Away from football, the bottom team didn't beat the top team in Rugby Union's Premiership, but they ran them close. Newcastle Red Bulls lost 28-27 at Northampton, but there was plenty of encouragement and 2 bonus points for Newcastle's new head coach, Stephen Jones. And in Super League basketball, Newcastle Eagles women earned a home win against Leicester Riders.
Simon, thank you very much. Now, next tonight, we're going to continue our look around the region at some of the towns that are vying to become the first town of culture.
Yep, today we're heading to the banks of the Tyne, where North Shields is making a name for itself in arts and music, where once fishermen and herring gulls would have dominated the scene, as Madeline Leatherby has been finding out.
Alive from dawn till dusk, where raves meet social clubs and where herring girls are celebrated with hometown heroes. The cultural heritage of North Shields is evolving, and it's just getting started.
It was very run down, very derelict. The heart was ripped out of it, you know. And I think when they closed all the shipyards and fishing industry was on decline. If you take the examples of you know, Windward Walls, or you take the example of Detroit, Malaga, or Margate. I'm not saying that Sweetheart's a magic bullet, but it's definitely been something that either it's helped along the way, or was a catalyst, and people seeing it and seeing that maybe it's a reflection of the town's got worth.
Founded on the banks of the Tyne in 1225, the town's been a key fishing port, shipbuilding community, home to playwrights, World War II heroes, escaped slaves and comedy greats. It's the stories of local people that make North Shields what it is, something championed by this community magazine.
I think it's really important is that by having a magazine, we are mapping what's already here. We're bringing it to the surface.
For it to be in print and to go around like social clubs, nursing homes, wards, community centres, the word spread.
We're lucky we've got 800 years worth of history in North Shields, so we've got this really rich tapestry of history. We've got what we document in the magazine. It's living history. It's what's happening now.
I mean, it's such a grassroots thing. It's just the local community talking about itself, sharing stories, celebrating what's happening in the town.
A town with a soundtrack of seagulls and Sam Fender, the grassroots music venues are thriving.
And other people in the past have said, oh, I'm from the North East, or I'm from Newcastle, but he talks about North Shields as his town, and that's helped to put us on the map. And I think, you know, giving people the space to perform is important. There's nothing like the live music in its essential form, I think.
800 years in the making, it's a town with culture around every corner. Madeline Leatherby, ITV News, North Shields.
Lots of contenders in the running. Fingers crossed for all the North East ones.
We're not allowed to pick a favourite.
No,
but we are allowed to pick a favourite weather presenter. Sadly, no Joe Blythe tonight.
No one won today.
Never. It's a bit like this, isn't it, Ross?
The weather is doing this classic March, you've got to say.
Yeah.
But we'll look back at the weekend, because that was really lovely.
Saturday was lovely.
Friday night was lovely.
Oh, you can say so.
It was. Have a look at this. Lots of people caught this.
Ross had a good Friday night.
He enjoyed it.
I mentioned at the end of the programme on Friday there was a chance seeing the Northern Lights.
Wow.
Unfortunately, a fair few of you headed out with your cameras looking really impressive.
That's amazing.
And of course we had those beautiful clear skies allowing us to be seen, and clear skies for Saturday meant spring was very much in the air. Those temperatures in the mid-teens, the daffodils are out, the sun was shining.
But
oh, spring's here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fool's spring is here. It's a trick in the weather where at this time of year we think spring's here and then it goes back to being cold again. And guess what?
It's going
to go cold again. Yeah, temperatures dropping by as much as 10 degrees. Even a little bit of snow in the forecast. Let's take a look.
An icy start to the day,
will give way to a series of oohs and ahs. 2 week sponsors ITV, Tyne weather.
The mild spring weather we got used to over recent days has been slipping away, particularly today. Lots of cloud around with occasional brighter breaks. A little bit of patchy rain coming and going. There's further rain taking us overnight and into tomorrow. Some blustery winds, staying breezy as we make our way into Wednesday as well. And with that, temperatures starting to dip. It is becoming colder. So low pressure's nearby at the moment. Overnight, the clouds thickening. Just the rain trying to work its way in from the west. This area here we're watching as we head through Tuesday. It's slipping its way down towards the south quite quickly. Behind that, sort of squeeze on the isobars, showing those winds picking up at times, but also dragging down this colder air from the north. So for now, as we head overnight, actually with the cloud cover, the winds coming up from the south, bits and pieces of patchy rain coming and going, temperatures do hold up. It's not as chilly as last night. There's no risk of a frost as we head into those early hours. Temperatures hold up at around 8 or 9 degrees, so not too chilly into Tuesday morning, but there is plenty of cloud around once again. Initially, it's just a few spots of rain. We do have some brighter breaks well placed towards the east of the higher ground, but you can see that rain starting to set in as we head through the middle part of the afternoon. The bright colours here showing we're expecting some heavier bursts. Temperature-wise, we'll look at highs of around 11 or 12 degrees, but as this rain slips its way down towards the south, we're seeing those temperatures falling. So there's the rain disappearing down towards the south later Tuesday. Into Wednesday, we have that feed coming down from the north. The showers are developing. A few whites picked up here showing over the higher ground. There's going to be that wintry mix in there, but we do also have some sunny spells, but still feeling rather chilly in those breezes through the next few days, although we do get some brighter skies in the mix, and it is staying mostly dry. It is going to feel chilly.
2 week sponsors ITV, Tyne weather.
Thank you, Ross. In just a moment then, the national and the international news.
Full spring. Ross thinks it's kind of fitting I'm presenting the late news. I think he's probably right. Thanks for joining us. Bye now.
Bye-bye.